business in Buchanan County. It generates over $216 million a year to our economy and employs about 4,000 people. That's incredible. Sports and sporting events contribute significantly to those revenues, which is why we are pleased to have the St. Joseph Regional Tourism Commission as part of the Convention and Visitors Bureau and our organization. All of you contribute to the economic impact of our community, and we're pleased to honor that those of you that have in the past and are and will in the future play a significant role in that economic impact. I am pleased to introduce Brett Easley, who is our Director of Development and the Executive Director of the St. Joseph Sports Commission. Brett is doing a wonderful job. Look at how many people we have here. This is awesome. And he's the one that has pulled this whole program together, not only this, but all of the activities of the Sports Commission, which I'm sure you've been hearing about a lot. Thank you again for being here, Brett Easley.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So I do not do podiums, and as you stare at me, you can probably see why I do not do podiums. How's everybody doing tonight? Sports unifies people, doesn't it? We've got 400 plus people in this room tonight. If you think the view's good from where you are, the view is even better from where I'm at, ladies and gentlemen. I call this a St. Joseph sports fan's dream, and from day one of the rebirth of the Sports Commission, we knew that we wanted to develop the St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame. We had our first committee meeting in September of 2020. We inaugurated our first class in September of 2021, and tonight we celebrate 9 new individuals, 1 new team, our 2023 Special Olympics Area Athlete of the Year, and also our 2023 Coach Bill Snyder Woman of Impact Award. Ladies and gentlemen, these events do not happen without the support and the commitment of our partners. And we are honored to have a new title partner this year. 8 de Bros Ag is our new presenting sponsor at tonight's induction ceremony. 8 de Bros Ag is an industry leader in providing farmers with any resource they need to run a smooth and efficient farming operation. The business was formed by the 8 de Brothers, 3 to be exact, in 2013 to carry on the legacy of their father, who had farmed for more than 25 years, in which the business is built on endless hard work, patience, perseverance, and problem solving. Think about all those traits, ladies and gentlemen. That's really what it takes to be a Hall of Famer in this class tonight. So I think it's very fitting that 8 de Bros Ag stepped up to be our presenting partner this year. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Reed Atha and all the good members of the 8 de Brothers a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the St. Joseph Sports Hall of Fame is owned and operated by the St. Joseph Missouri Sports Commission, which is a development arm of the St. Joseph Convention and Visitors Bureau. Over the last 20 months, this has been an unbelievable ride for the Sports Commission. It all begins with fit and niche, ladies and gentlemen. We look for fit and niche events that not only fit our community, but also fit and niche of events that we can either create, attract, partner, or enhance that come to events that fall under the hat of the St. Joseph Missouri Sports Commission. Anywhere from 3 youth softball events in partnership with USA Softball. Our next one's coming up October 7th and 8th down at Heritage Park. To the brand new NC Division II Women's Basketball Showcase at Civic Arena November 9 and 10. We are thrilled to welcome back the MIAA Volleyball Championship November 16th through 18th. That is a 2-year host for us. And then coming up in early December, some people have asked me, Mizzou and K-State are really playing a game in St. Joseph, Missouri. Is that a real game? Guess what? They're going to wear uniforms and everything. The inaugural Coach Bill Snyder Women's Basketball Classic, December 9th. Tickets, by the way, go on sale this coming Wednesday. I know many of you have been asking me about that. We also look forward to our 2nd annual St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame High School Hoops Classic at Civic Arena. That's coming up December 20th through 22nd. We've added a day. We have added 4 additional teams to that event. Hey, we do NCAA National Championships as well. In partnership with Missouri Western State University, we're happy to welcome back the NCAA Division II Women's Basketball National Championship to St. Joseph. The championship game is here this year, March 25th through 29th. We also have taken a tremendous interest in being a catalyst in development in our community. One of the unifying conversations that we've taken part in here over the last 12 to 14 months is what does sports facility development look like here at St. Joseph? We're proud to partner with the Community Alliance of St. Joseph to do a feasibility study that took place in May. Some of you in the room took part in that this past May, and we look forward to getting those results coming up here later in the summer. And finally, I know all of you in this room are training for the inaugural St. Joseph, Missouri Marathon, are you not? Yeah. So guess what? If you're that person in the crowd that says, ain't no way I'm running that marathon, well guess what? You don't have to. You can run a half marathon. You can run a 10K, 5K, that's only 3.1 miles. I think it's couched to 5K in 6 weeks, but you could probably go couch to 5K in 4 weeks if you wanted to. But again, we look forward to that event in just under 1 month from now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, if you're not exhausted already, these last 20 months, they've been very transformational for me, very eye-opening, and also a learning experience. I want to thank 2 individuals that helped make this vision possible. First and foremost, she led off this program here this evening. You're the Executive Director of the St. Joseph Convention and Visitors Bureau, Marcy Donovan. But endeavors like this take vision. And whereas I was very fortunate that I was able to become the next chairperson of the St. Joseph Sports Commission in early 2019 in a volunteer role, I was selected out of a pool of 1. So you had to vote for me, whether you wanted to vote for me or not. However, I was proud to carry on the legacy of the late Mr. Frank O'Malley. Many of you know Frank. Frank ran a very successful business here in St. Joseph for a number of years. He was a tremendous philanthropist. He was a tremendous supporter of our community and a great businessman. Our ceremony tonight and forever will be done in memory and honor of Mr. Frank O'Malley, and to shed some, let's say, memories on Frank and provide some history. It's my pleasure to welcome to the stage St. Joseph Sports Commission board person, and many of you know the great, legendary historian, Mr. Bob Slater. Come on up, Bob.
All the handrails from 91. I don't pay cash on fall. You know, I have one problem with Brett. He's got to get more enthusiasm. But I am flattered to be here tonight to attend the Heckman Family Reunion. Well, that's now about 27 of them by actual count. So, anyway, first of all, congratulations to all the members of the Hall of Fame in 2023. But you know, Frank O'Malley's a legend. Frank, I guess, can be described as a godfather of the St. Joseph Sports Commission. I first met Frank in 1950 at St. Benedict's College. And Frank was a football player, recruited out of Fenton, Chicago. And the football team Frank came to was pretty lousy. First year, he goes home at Christmas and says, Frank, how'd your team do? Oh, I said, 5-5. Doesn't sound too bad. Fortunately, nobody asked me any more questions. They lost 5 at home and 5 on the road. Well, Frank's one of you guys to talk. Look, Frank never obstacles. Frank saw opportunities. He came here from Benedict, he did some coaching, got involved in the military, became head of the entire Armed Forces program all over the world. And he's enthusiastic about it, as you might imagine. So he comes to St. Joe, knows nobody here except me, I think. And so he said, hey, we need a sports commission in St. Joe. And he organized the first one. And from that little kernel, it's going to register into a fantastic organization. But you know, in order to understand Frank, you have to understand some of his motives. Frank never saw something he couldn't overcome. Every year, it took 6 of us to South Bend for a Notre Dame football game. And almost one day we were there, we'd go to lunch, and 3,000 people, paid $30 a head for a $5 burrito. And their football coach saw. But the good thing is, the beer was only $2 a can. Anyway, we got done with lunch and wandered through the Notre Dame Hall of Fame up there. Frank said, let's go down and see the AD. Frank, what do I see the AD for? Oh, let's just meet the AD, go down and talk to him. So, Frank, this is Southern Cal weekend. Let's write the check for $2 million. You're not going to get to see the AD. Let's give it a try. So he went out there and walks on the way down and said, hey, Pop, said, what's this guy's name? And I said, Mike Wadsworth. He said, used to be headmaster of Canada. Okay, fine. So we go down, so we sat there and said, I'm Frank O'Malley, have Armed Forces Sports. I got an appointment to see Mike at 1:30. 5 minutes ago, I didn't know the guy's name, and I go to first name basis. And she says, well, let me check. Well, Mr. Malley, I don't have you down here. Must be some sort of mistake. Mike at 1:60, you're supposed to have 1:30 appointment. He said, well, Frank said, would you please check out Frank O'Malley, head of Armed Forces Sports from the Pentagon is here. He drops a big word right there, you know. He didn't mention me the entire 10 years. So we go in there and we step back politely. Let's see, that's Mr. Wadsworth, and Frank called Mike, I call him Mr. Wadsworth. But anyway, she said, calls us off. If you can come back in 30 minutes, he can see you. I still don't know why we're there. So we go in there, come back in 30 minutes, and sure enough, we walk in there, and Frank introduced himself. Frank came out, head of Armed Forces Sports, didn't mention Budweiser, and said, here's Bob Slater, he's in this paper, St. Joe. I've been there in the paper 30 years ago. So I think Wadsworth's got 3 questions. Number 1, what are these guys doing here? Number 2, how come they're still working? They look pretty old to me, they should be retired. And third thing, who's going to write the check? But anyway, when we sit down, we visit with Wadsworth for maybe 15, 20 minutes, very leisurely, talking about normal things that 3 guys talk about football in general. We get ready to leave, and Frank said, Mike, he said, we've got a big fundraiser at St. Joe. I think Coach has done this before. We hired some celebrity come in, come make a speech for our fire press. I'll do the speaker next year. And of course, the committee back home, trying to line this thing up. And Frank is, so Wadsworth said, well, let me know when it is. And see if the day works out. Maybe actually did come in. So then we get ready to leave. Frank's not quite done. We're walking out. We walk to the cubicles, all the desks there in the athletic department. Frank said, is this where I pick up my parking pass for the game tomorrow? How the hell came up with I had no idea. But some young man said, got one right here, so I just turned it in. So they show Frank the pass, and he gives me, I flip up and say, Frank, I think you got the coach's wife parking pass. we are a 9-iron shot. We're going, and I'm not talking to Rory McIlroy 9-iron, I'm talking to Bob Slater 9-iron. We're with it from here to here. And how, Frank, what did you, I just say, there's no obstacles, there's an opportunity. Frank told me one time, this is critical way to organize a lot of things. First of all, real trip, because he's been so generous, not only to sports, but everything in St. Joe. A wonderful man, a great sense of humor. Frankly, sometimes bend things a little bit to get his way, but he gets to sort up. But Frank said one time, Bob, sometimes rather than ask for permission beforehand, he just asks for forgiveness afterwards. So that's the way Frank about it. A great legend of St. Joe, one man getting the sports committee started, and Brett Easley has done a fantastic job of building what it is today. Hey, thank you very much. Again, congratulations for all of you.
We're working on the Bob Slater, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Bob, and we're forever grateful for the vision of Mr. Frank O'Malley. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'd like to recognize some very important people who are here in the crowd with us tonight. I would like to first recognize our 2023 chairperson of the St. Joseph, Missouri Sports Commission. Patsy Smith is here with us tonight. Patsy, thank you very much for all of your hard work. We have some St. Joseph area sports Hall of Famers with us here tonight. Please join me in saluting members of our inaugural 2021 class. Mr. Wes Barnett is here with us tonight. Coach Bill Snyder is here with us tonight. We have members in the crowd from our inaugural Hall of Fame team, the Meyerhofer St. Joe Frontier Casino Fast Pitch Players team. From the class of 2022, Janet Clark Moody is here with us tonight. I think I'm making eye contact with him all the way in the back of the room. Coach Tom Smith is here with us tonight. I know I saw him walk in. Coach Dennis Sneeden is with us tonight. And I think I saw Mary Herzog in the room, our team from 2022, Herzog Motorsports. And last but certainly not least, because I scoured the crowd and got a big old hug from him, Tanner Richer is in the room tonight. Give all of our VIPs a very big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've already alluded to, these events do not happen without the support of our sponsors. And tonight, before we get into the meat and potatoes of our program, I'd like to officially begin the enshrinement portion in recognizing our foundation partners. We've grown a little bit over the past year and are highly thankful of the now 8 foundation partners of the St. Joseph Sports Commission. These partners include the Hilliard Companies. Give them a round of applause. I know Mr. Jeff Ellison and crew are here tonight from Ellison Oxshire Architects. Haltech Industries. Please give them a big round of applause. Please give the good folks from Gray Manufacturing a big round of applause. United Fiber, please give them a round of applause. The good folks from BMS Logistics and Right Pack Inc., give them a big round of applause. Last but certainly not least, and I got a lovely 8x10 photo with Pam Brock. Pam, I know you're back there representing Rogers Pharmacy. Give them a big round of applause. We also have some major event sponsors in the room. Once again, Mr. Jeff Ellison. He's been with the Hall of Fame since day one. Ellison Oxshire Architects, who present tonight's social hour. Thank you, Jeff. In a matter of moments, we will meet the 2023 winner of the Coach Bill Snyder Woman of Impact Award, which is proudly presented by the good folks at Commerce Bank. Tonight's awards were made possible by E.L. Crawford Construction. Please give all the good folks at E.L. Crawford a round of applause. Our Special Olympics Athlete of the Year, who we will meet momentarily, is proudly presented by the Hook Family Foundation. Ron Hook's here tonight. Please give them a round of applause. Yeah. And the enshrinement portion of the program is proudly sponsored by Rogers Pharmacy. Give Rogers Pharmacy a round of applause. We have 15 patron sponsors this year who are shown on the screen and in your program. Please give all 15 of these patron sponsors a big round of applause. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it gives us great pleasure to recognize our 2023 Coach Bill Snyder Woman of Impact Award winner, presented by Commerce Bank. The Hall of Fame Committee established this award last year in celebration of the 50th anniversary of Title IX. The award is presented to a female athlete, coach, administrator, or contributor to sports in our county who accomplished elite achievement over the past year. The award is named after Coach Snyder as a tribute to the leadership and mentorship that his mother Marietta played in shaping his life. And at this time, it's my pleasure to welcome St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame inductee class of 2021, Coach Bill Snyder, to the stage to present the 2023 Women of Impact.
Thank you very, very much. I was going to, that was my presentation he just read, so I'll be really brief. This is the second recipient of this award, and you know, it really is special to me that the commission honors these young ladies, and always makes me think back to young women, some not so young anymore, in my life, and the impact that they have had, certainly on me, and certainly in terms of athletics. I think about when, you know, I was born and raised in St. Joseph, Missouri. I grew up in St. Joseph, Missouri. Had a lot of very special people in my life, and I think back, you know, two of the fondest memories, women in in my life were teachers in my early education. The impact that they had on my life continues today in a very positive way, and I'm quite certain that a number of things that I did or able to do was totally because of the impact that they had on my life. You know, I think of, I went to Washington Elementary School, and Ruth Houston was the principal there, and she was more than a principal to me, and was truly special in my life, and I always remember and appreciate so much that she did. And then one of my teachers in elementary school was Helen Cronkite, and you know, a very infamous name, and certainly part of that family, but the type of person she was also impacted my life in a very, very special way. And the person in my life, I wouldn't be here today. You know, I'm up here because I won some awards someplace on occasion, and a bunch of very fortunate things have happened in my life. It would not have happened without a young lady by the name of Marietta Snyder. With my mother and father were divorced when I was less than 1 year old. My mother raised me. We lived on 5th and Ruby Doo in an apartment, a one-room apartment. Probably told you that story before. My bed was a Murphy bed that came out of the wall. My mother's bed was a cot that we pulled off the landing every single night. My mother never owned an automobile in her life, walked to work and back every single day from 5th and Ruby Doo to Townsend, Wyatt, and Wall, where she worked for a countless number of years. You know, but you remember those types of things, and the value that women bring to our lives, every single one of us, male or female, and how special they are. Each one of you had those special people in your life. And I get the tremendous reward to be able to introduce, you know, a young lady that has been with athletics in St. Joe for quite some time. She is truly a special lady. You know, reading through all of the information, I had met her one time before, but you know, seeing some of these very positive things. You know, her being now at in her 6th season, coaching at LeBlanc High School, and I read where you know, her team this year was 28-4. You know, it took me 10 years to get to 28-4. And one time, and opened the season 20-0. Who can be 20-0? I mean, that's a lifetime event. What a truly special thing. But nevertheless, you know, so many very, very special things, and having the chance to meet her and realizing too that she was the coach of the year, the last 3 consecutive years, if I got that right. How truly special. But just meeting her and recognizing what a wonderful young person she is really was special to me. And I would introduce the young lady, and I think there's going to be a video here is coming up, but truly special person and someone that we've all got to be extremely proud of for all that she has done. Jackie Steltenpohl from Bishop Lamont, and amazing representative of this event. And I would ask that she come up to the stage, I think.
Come on up, Jackie. Come on up, video, too.
The 2022-23 Bishop of Lawn girls basketball team will go down as one of the very best in program history.
I'd say the girls had a lot of fun last year, and I think that helped with our team chemistry. They were the most dedicated and focused team I've ever coached.
And leading the way for this Golden Eagles basketball team, head coach Jackie Steltenpole.
Starting off, Jackie's been way more than a coach to me. She's also an amazing believer and big supporter and advocate for many athletes with me and the high school support people.
In her 6th season as the head coach of Bishop of Lawn, she led her team to a 28-4 overall record, including opening the season to 20-0 and way to a #1 ranking in Class 2 and also a Class 2 state runner-up.
There was definitely a lot of pressure and expectation leading into last season, and I think the girls handled it so well. I don't know what exactly was the turning point where we just kept reassuring them to focus one game at a time. And when we went on that 20-win streak, it was kind of just like we looked back and we're like, wow, we really did that. And I think that's what the girls really focused on, was taking it one day at a time.
The former Bishop of Lawn standout guard came back home and helped lead her basketball program to new heights. And in doing so, this past season will go down as one of the very best in Bishop of Lawn history. And that is why Jackie Steltenpole is the 2023 Bill Snyder Woman of Impact Award recipient.
She's been a strong, empowering, influential, and motivating female that I look up to every day, and not only the influential on me, but anyone she has guidance over. She has a perfectly curated individual relationships, and she always has everybody's best interests at heart. She always wants what's best for everybody else, and she's very selfless.
And Jackie, congratulations on winning the Bill Snyder Woman of Impact Award. Super proud of you, and nobody deserves it more. Congratulations.
It's just humbling and blessed to have received this award, and I think it just shows that how hard our girls worked this year, and I would be a sport without them. So it's definitely a team award, as well as my coaches, my coaching staff have been such a great help this year, and I think that I'm going to attribute this award to them as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 Bill Snyder Woman of Impact Award winner, the head girls basketball representation on Jackie Steltenpole. Well done, Jackie, and thank you so much, Coach Snyder, for being here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, time has come. It is time to officially enshrine the St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame class of 2023. Folks ask me all the time, what makes you eligible for nomination? You've got to meet one of 3 criteria, folks. You are either born in Buchanan County, you've either made your sports career in Buchanan County, or are making your sports career in Buchanan County. And people say, well, what's the difference between 2 and 3? Our Hall of Fame does not require that you are retired from your sports or your craft before you may be eligible for nomination. Our nominations must be received by March 31 of the given year to be eligible for that year's class. Once we receive the nominations, your nomination stays active for the course of 5 years. They are selected by an anonymous committee, and we announce the class in May for induction, now in late August. In any given one class, there will not be any more than 10 individuals inductees. There will not be more than 1 team, and we recognize 1 Special Olympics athlete of the year that's also part of our class. I always chuckle every year when somebody says, goodness, you've got a great Hall of Fame class this year. Well, guess what? It wouldn't be a Hall of Fame class if it wasn't great, right, ladies and gentlemen? All classes take on their own personality, and this one is certainly no different. And when I was presented this class in early May, all I could think of was one word, and that one word was capital wow. What an elite class we have this year. It includes innovators, champions, Olympians, icons, professional athletes, legends, a Hall of Fame coach, and a championship team in which all of these folks are excellent promoters of St. Joseph and Buchanan County. There are many things that I've enjoyed about putting our Hall of Fame programs together. A thrill for me is always getting to visit with our Hall of Famers. Some of them I know very well. Some of them I know who they are. Some of them I've never had the opportunity to meet. But one thing's obvious. We know their accolades on the playing field, course, wherever their venue may be. But it takes a special trait off the course venue. You got to get up early. You got to stay late. You got to overcome adversity. You got to be prompt. You got to show up sometimes, and maybe you don't want to. And all of these men and women that make up the class of 2023 all do that exceptionally well. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time before we meet the 2023 class, would you also join me again in thanking tonight's enshrinement sponsor, the good folks at Rogers Pharmacy. Give them a round of applause. Our first inductee of the evening is our Special Olympics Area Athlete of the Year. From day one with the outstanding history Special Olympics has in Northwest Missouri, our committee felt it right to include this recognition as part of our Hall of Fame ceremony each year. This year's inductee is our first female Special Olympian to be inducted, which is also ironic that her mother helped establish the Special Olympics program in St. Joseph more than 45 years ago. And to introduce tonight's recipient, it gives me great pleasure to invite Buchanan County Western District Commissioner and Sports Commission Board Member and sponsor of the Special Olympics Athlete of the Year, Mr. Ron Hook, to the stage. Give it up for Ron Hook.
Great turnout. Thank you very much for showing up and honoring these great icons of history of the sport. It gives the Hook family great honor to be able to sponsor this. And within our Hook family, my mother Mary is here, my brother Neil, and my sister Gail. So we're very honored to be able to do this, and we think this is a very special part of the Special Olympics awards, and we want to honor those. This is the third one for the Sports Commission to honor a Special Olympian, and this year is Janie Wood. Now I knew Jo Wood, her mother, with Progressive Community Services and other boards that we served on together. But Jane I never did meet until later on, after Jo had passed, in fact. But Jane, she was quite an athlete in her day. Jane's mother started the Special Olympic program in St. Joseph, like Brett said, 45 years ago, which shortly thereafter she began her journey to Special Olympics Missouri fame. Jane has been a four-sport athlete, competing in softball for more than 25 years, and also competed in sports of swimming and track. But the most that she's really accomplished in Special Olympics was bowling. Jane did a great job bowling, and she's established her fame there. She's attended numerous area state bowling competitions, bringing home several gold medals over the years. Jane has always loved being a part of the team, and as she puts it, my teammates depend on me to be there and to help. This year's award-winning Special Olympic athlete, Janie Wood.
Special Olympics program. After all, her mother started the program in St. Joseph just before Janie started her own career.
Bowling has always been the sport for her, and she always took it very seriously. She never missed a practice, she never missed a competition, and she really was concerned about our other people on the team. but she loved bowling through and through, and she was very good at it. I think her games are always in the 200.
Janie found a passion for bowling, but did play other sports along the way. But there's always been something about the lanes for her.
The competitive outlet for her, and she's good at it, really good. Just and seeing her friends all the time, that just means so much to her.
She was one of the first athletes selected to be a partner with a non-Special Olympics athletes to bowl in a competition too.
Janie was not always very outgoing. She had her little small group of people that would be on the bowling. They rotated on what lanes you were on each week and different people you bowled with. And I think that made her come out of her shell, and she talked to people, and she was more social in the aspect of being on the bowling team.
Janie has always loved being a part of a team, and in her own words, my teammates depend on me to be there and help, which is why she's this year's Special Olympics Area Athlete of the Year.
She is as sweet as can be, but she is one of those athletes that once you meet her, you just won't forget her. She's just one of those ones that she was always very dedicated to her bowling.
It means so much to all of us. Jamie has 7 brothers and sisters. We've supported her all these years with Special Olympics, and it's a great honor.
James can come up and accept the award. And then Melanie Prowitz with Special Olympics North Area, Missouri, is here to say her speech for her. Okay?
On behalf of Janie and the Wood family, thank you for this honor. Janie's mother was the first that started Special Olympics over 45 years ago, and Janie was one of the first athletes in the North area to participate in any of our sports. I do have a funny little story about Janie. When we started, her mother really tried to push her into all the different sports and tried to get her to try everything. She ran her first race and she came back and showed, "This is not my sport." So track and field was out for Janie. But Janie's mother, Jo Wood, was inducted into Special Olympics Missouri Hall of Fame 25 years ago. So now Janie today is being inducted into this Hall of Fame. And on behalf of all the Wood family and Special Olympics North area, Janie would like to say thank you very much. And thank you, Sports Commission, for including Special Olympics as part of this wonderful event. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame member, Janie Wood!
Just a quick note, Great Manufacturing is one of the sponsors this year, and today, Joe Gray would have been 101 years old. He just passed away just a couple months ago, but he would have been 101 today. So I told the Gray family I'd mention that today.
Congratulations, Janie. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our next inductee into the 2023 class has lived what I call the full circle of life in the coaching profession. A career that has now spanned 30 years across all levels. Chris Tabor epitomizes that labor of love it takes to be a coach. Tabor graduated of Benton High School and Benedictine College, persevered through the ranks of high school, small college, to FBS, to Power 5, and now spending the last 15 seasons in the NFL, including his current position as the special teams coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. There was a split second of time earlier this week when Chris sent me a note and said, "I thought I might be able to make it tonight." However, it's cut down weekend in the NFL, so while he's not in attendance, there are a few other people that we're going to hear from in the video. We will hear from Chris himself momentarily. Let's take a look.
He's one of the most competitive dudes I've ever been around in my life.
Some are just drawn to coaching, but when you're a Tabor, you're born into it. Chris Tabor, a standout at Benton High School and 3-year starting quarterback at Benedictine College, has been coaching for 30 years.
Chris came to us as a freshman, not the biggest guy or the fastest guy in the world, but maybe the most competitive guy that we had on our program at that time, and we found a lot of success with him as our quarterback.
Starting off at the NJCAA and NAIA level, quickly climbed the assistant ranks before a quick stop as the head coach at Culver Stockton in 2001, before heading up to the FBS level.
If you ever ask anybody, they have nothing but good things to say about Chris Tabor.
From there, he earned his first shot in the NFL as an assistant coach in Chicago for now Chief Special Teams Coordinator Dave Tobe.
I'm very proud of him, first of all, and what a great guy, fun to be around. But it's cool, he's a great guy. He's one of St. Joe's finest.
Tabor has spent 15 seasons in the NFL as a special teams coordinator and is currently in year 2 with the Carolina Panthers.
Indicated that he wanted to go into coaching, and I knew that he was determined to accomplish what his goals were: high school, college, Division I football, and then on into the NFL. And he's taken all those steps. It's not been easy, as it isn't for anyone, but he has held true to his goals of accomplishing the highest levels of coaching football.
The son of a St. Joseph coaching legend in Dante, Chris takes his own place as a coaching icon.
Still rendering.
Come from St. Joseph as he was inducted into the St. Joseph Sports Hall of Fame.
Chris is like my second son. He calls me, once a week or once every 10 days, just to check in. And the beauty of it all, goes all the way back to his dad and his mom, Mary Jane and Coach Tabor. What a beautiful family that is.
Now we will hear Chris's induction speech.
First of all, I'd like to send my regrets that I can't be there tonight. I appreciate all of my family and friends for being there and representing me. Thank you. I'd also like to congratulate all the other inductees. Congratulations on your honor, and congratulations to your family also. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the St. Joseph Sports Commission for thinking about me and inducting me. I always say you must have ran out of names in order to put me in all seriousness. Thank you very much. A lot of things go around. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my mom and dad. Growing up in St. Joe, you made it great. St. Joe is my home. It's a special place for me. And, as I've always said, I'm in the coaching profession now really because of my dad. And that's what I've always wanted to be, was just my dad. And so hopefully he's looking down and he's smiling on tonight's honor. I'd also like to thank Kathy and Dave Graves, my in-laws, who they also raised me also. My wife, we've been married for 28 years, and we dated all through high school. So thank you to Kathy and Dave, because you have a big part, obviously, in my life and in my development in this profession. The other people that I'd like to thank are just all the coaches and players that I've been associated with. There's accolades that go around, and I feel special about this honor, but it's really about other people. And it all started right there in St. Joe. I know Coach Snyder's there tonight. Coach, I want to thank you. When I was a freshman in high school, I did a research paper on quarterback play here at the University of Iowa. And I wrote about probably 10 questions, and you took time to write back, handwritten, about 6 pages on quarterback play. Coach, I've never forgotten that. So people like me, questions about of how the job should be done, and thank you very much for that. I'd also like to thank the Benedictine community. because St. Joe and the Benedictine community, those are the two communities that really laid the foundation for myself and my family. I've been, like I mentioned earlier, I've been married for 28 years to my lovely bride, Nikki Graves at the time, now Nikki Tabor, who's also a Benton graduate. We have two great, amazing daughters. And I always say, I think you're always judged by how your kids turn out. And you know, the story will still tell, but I feel like, and I'm a little biased, that I have two great kids, and that's a credit to my wife, who, as a coach's wife, we've moved 10 times in our coaching career, lived everywhere, in every time zone with the exception of the West Coast. She's been the mainstay on that, and so in my opinion, I always say that she's really the Hall of Famer. So I don't want to be long-winded, but I want to once again say thank you to everyone for this honor, and I appreciate everyone that's influenced my life and where I'm at right now, and I hope I can continue to make you proud. Thank you very much.
Our coach is represented here tonight by several members of his family. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer, Chris Tabor. When the conversation best ever comes up, in most cases that's always a very subjective conversation. However, a pretty good benchmark of your success and impact you made is if you have something named after you. In this case, it happens to be the gymnasium at Benton High School. That gym, Springer Gymnasium, is named after 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame member, the late Coach Paul Pop Springer. Pop was a coach for all seasons, coaching football, basketball, track and field. Not only did he coach them, yeah, he coached all of them pretty darn well. You'll hear these accolades in just a moment in the video. In doing some research for this year's ceremony, I found that the best male athlete on an annual basis at Benton for many years would win the Springer Award. I also found interesting a sign of the times in the early years of the award. One of the award criteria was that the inductee did not smoke. So hopefully you did not smoke to get that award, ladies and gentlemen. Pop Springer, a coach for all seasons.
A trailblazer, that's Paul Pop Springer, one of the most influential individuals in Benton High School history.
Over a span of 30 some odd years, 34 years, he coached and taught probably 90% of the kids that attended Benton High School because everybody was involved in some activity. And he was Benton High School.
The longtime coach made his way to St. Joseph in 1925, and from there coaching 3 sports, basketball, football, and track. Coaching a combined 888 games between football and basketball, winning 566 of those contests.
Your head coaches commanded a lot of respect and a lot of responsibility back then. I've been on several trips out of the state of Missouri and around the country, and we'll be talking about, where are you from? I'll say, Benton High School. Oh, you came from Pop Springer used to be the coach. And I'm there, yeah. I said, I'm lucky that I actually met the man a few times, and my father coached with him. I said, he goes, yeah, he was very successful and well-respected, and well-respected in the community.
He led teams to track state championships, boys basketball state titles, and a football Peanut Bowl appearance in 1946.
That was a bowl that was played for high schools. It was not a college bowl. College bowls became, or kind of took over the bowl games, and high schools stopped doing that because every state had their playoff system.
To honor his memory and legacy, the Benton Gym forever named Springer Gymnasium. And he left quite the impact and mark in a variety of ways.
But then we named a award after him, you know, just to keep that in the attributes or the requirements to win the Pop Springer Award were so 1930s, 40s, and 50s that everybody just gets a chuckle out of it. But when every parent that hears that, going, I wish my kid would do that. You know, you know, and just, it's tradition.
An inspiration to all who are lucky enough to have been coached or taught by him. That's what Paul Pop Springer means to so many, and what makes him a Hall of Famer.
When you look at what he did and how he did it and what he did it with, you have to admire it. You can't, you know. you have to give it the respect that it deserves.
Ladies and gentlemen, speaking on behalf of the Lake Pops family, it is truly my honor to welcome his next of kin to the stage. All the way from Houston, Texas, we have with us tonight granddaughter Miss Sue Martin, accompanied by Bob Whitsitt.
First, let me thank the St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame Committee for this exceptional honor bestowed on our Pop. For those of us who lived with him and knew him and loved him, we know what a unique and special man he was. On the night of August the 23rd, 1958, 65 years ago, and 1 year before he officially retired, a testimonial dinner was held at the Empire Room at the Hotel Voodoo in Pop's honor. It was open to all B Club letter inductees who spanned 34 years of his coaching career at Benton. 243 attended, going all the way back to the class of 1925. Of those unable to attend, telegrams and letters arrived to as far away as Minnesota and Michigan, Wisconsin and South Carolina, Colorado and California, Connecticut, New York, Texas, and Algeria. Even one from the USS Wasp, anchored 1,300 yards off the coast of Beirut, Lebanon, all praising Pop and thanking him for the life lessons he had taught them. Pop's offspring total 69, with one on the way, including 5 great-great-great-grandchildren. We are scattered all throughout the U.S., which knowing Pop would come as quite a surprise. To him, all his progeny would be very special. However, he would be shocked to learn of some of the accomplishments. 2 PhD candidates, one in physics and one in art history, an exploration geologist, a psychologist, a journalist, a court reporter, an IRS agent, an international accountant in China, a chief concessionaire for both the Houston Astrodome and the Texas Stadium in Dallas, a software developer, a marine scientist, a testing engineer on the Minuteman missile, the Gemini and Apollo space programs, and the Alaska pipeline, and even a Sports Hall of Fame candidate for her high school athletic prowess, history repeating itself. As for me, his granddaughter, and his oldest living descendant, and having lived with Pop all during my Benton years, I try my best to live up to the qualities he treasured: duty, discipline, self-respect, and integrity. However, I can never forget his favorite motto for life: it's not if you win or lose, it's how you play the game. This is my grandson, Zachary Foltz. And this is my cousin, Bob, who's Pop's grandson.
Sue's pretty well said all there is to say. I'm going to talk about my grandpa. First of all, I'd like to thank St. Joe for hosting this. I'm from Kansas City, and I'm proud to be part of the Chiefs Kingdom. And I love the Chiefs practice up here. I've had a lifelong love affair with St. Joe, much to my parents' chagrin. They were both raised here, one in the north end and one in the south end. And yeah, my dad played for Lafayette, and he played against Pop's teams, and so he didn't like Pop all that well. But
As I said, my folks are from St. Joe. I didn't know much about Pop when I was born. He was 58 years old, but I was born on his birthday. And I grew up knowing one thing, he liked to fish. And I noticed in one of the articles that Sue had clipped from a 1958 St. Joseph Gazette paper that two of his fishing buddies were at his ceremony in 1958, and that was Bert Neely and Dutch Swilling. I fished with both those guys. All I knew, they were old guys, and they liked Pop. It was a great thing in the summertime to come up here to visit them, because you would wake up at whatever, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning as an 8 or 9-year-old kid, and you could hear Pop whistling. They had a detached garage, and we'd go running down to the kitchen, and I'd say, "Grandma, where's Pop?" "Well, he's out in the garage getting his gear together. And if you're going with him, you better get ready." And that's one thing I'd say about Pop. He waited for no one. If you were in the car, you got to go. If not, see you later. We love that. And when we get home at night, he would play cards endlessly with us kids. And we always accused him, or Grandma would, of not cutting us any slack. Let the kids win. No, he was going to play straight up. And his favorite card game that I recall was Oh Hell, which Graham made us call Oh Heck. But we loved that about him. And one thing I wanted to show you was that in 1989, my mom, who was the only living child of his at that time, she and I went to Columbia, Missouri, because Pop was inducted into the high school, what? Basketball Hall of Fame. I could never figure out why it was just basketball, because to me, when I was into Pop, he did it all. Football, basketball, track, and before I came along, he was even running the stadium in the summertime, whatever that stadium is, that was where the Cardinals played, the farm team. And, so anyway, he got this in 1989, 34 years ago, and I'm proud of it. Anyway, thank you again.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer, Pop Springer. Well, the sport of baseball, South Side, has always been played at a high level. Whether it's the more than 1,000 young players that compete in Pony Express baseball on an annual basis at Hyde Park, the Benton Cardinals consistently competing at a high level. For one Benton Cardinal, who graduated 50 years ago this year, he not only competed at a high level on the diamond, he made a career of it for more than 4 decades. 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer, Jim Wright. Yeah. Was drafted out of high school in the 5th round by the Philadelphia Phillies. He spent 7 years in the Phillies system, winning 65 games, including being named the AAA Cy Young Award winner. He made it to the bigs with our hometown Kansas City Royals in the early 80s. And following his playing career, I think it's safe to say he was just getting started. He spent another 32 seasons in Major League Baseball as a coach before retiring in 2014. Jim Wright and native Shining Star on the South Side.
Is the last relationship that also happened after I left and became part of some other organizations. So Big Jim was an absolute, genuine supporter of myself and friend.
For more than 4 decades, Jim Wright spent his life in professional baseball. A 2-time sport athlete at Benton High School, excelled in the diamond, being drafted out of high school by the Philadelphia Phillies in the 5th round of the 1973 MLB draft.
Jim's he's a legend. He's on our wall of fame at High School. And, growing up,
myself, I was able to, look up and just see all the cool things he's been able to do, and knowing that he went to Benton High School, played for Benton baseball, and it was really inspirational for me to continue to keep working hard.
Wright spent 7 seasons with the Phillies before the Royals selected him in the 1980 Rule 5 draft. Following his playing days, Wright gravitated to the coaching ranks at AAA and Major League levels between the Cubs, Phillies, and the Rockies. Where in Colorado, he was a coach, but also a mentor.
I think he just probably knew that I was going to give it my all. I truly believed it, and I had more output that was showing at the time. And he knew that there was something there that needed to be unlocked and let released.
Wright's presence felt throughout Major League Baseball, but also here at home. Over the years, volunteering and helping make the next generation of ball players better. Making his impact on the mound and in the dugout, Wright finds himself now in the stages of sports. Wright finds himself now in the St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame.
You are a huge influence in the band I am to this day. I'm blessed that we still get to be in touch, and I'm very happy for you today, my friend. Enjoy this, you deserve it, and God bless you, Big Jim.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, I did write a speech. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. What energy in this room. It is fantastic to see everyone here. It's really awe-inspiring. Well, let me first of all say thank you to the St. Joe Area Sports Hall of Fame Committee for being selected for this honor of recognition of my career in baseball. What an honor and a privilege to be really recognized among such a gathering of elite athletes as these athletes as I see before me today, which is evidence of the rich history and tradition of sports that's produced athletes here in this community. Throughout St. Joseph, it's always been there, and I'm proud to be a part of that. Baseball started for me in the crib, you could say, as my beloved mother, who's not here today, said that there was no toys that could be in my crib other than a baseball. So every time I rolled over and felt that baseball, I knew now what was going on. So thanks for that, Dad. But it was my dad who introduced me to baseball with countless hours in the backyard. Every night after he came home from work, we played catch, we fielded ground balls, we caught fly balls, and most of all, the most fun part, we got to do batting practice. That was always last. And it was always fun. It was always fun for me. But, along that comes with success, there's always others involved, in the same way with me. They say that no man is an island, and then it takes an army. Well, I have an army for my parents and all the coaches, teachers, and administrators in this community along the way were a huge part of my success, of any success that came my way. That is why I'm honored to share this award with all of you, because without all of you, this would not be possible, and I wouldn't be here today, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. In closing, I'd like to say that baseball's taken me all over the world. I'm kind of humble when it comes to that stuff. It's taken me to many countries. But there's one thing that you're always asked as an athlete is where you're from. And I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, I was always proud to say that I was from the great city of St. Joseph in the great state of Missouri. And I just want to say thank you from my heart, and God bless you.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer, Mr. Jim Wright. Well done, Jim. Ladies and gentlemen, fun fact here tonight. There are at least 3 members of the Central High School graduating class of 1997 in attendance. 2 are being inducted into the Hall of Fame class, and you've had the pleasure of looking at the 3rd for the last hour here on stage. Whereas this frame has 0 ounce of athletic ability in it. Yeah, it's shocking. 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame inductee, Dwayne Blakely's athletic ability was off the charts. Yeah. Dwayne was a three-sport star at Central as he was all-state in the basketball, a standout on the track. However, it was on the gridiron where Dwayne made his career as he led the Indians to a state quarterfinal appearance in 1995, playing on both sides of the ball. His numerous accolades led him to a football scholarship at the University of Missouri, where he played for the late Larry Smith and competed on Gary Pinkel's first Tiger team. Dwayne was an All-Big 12 selection his senior year. And following 2 years in NFL Europe, Dwayne achieved his dream, appearing in 59 games over 4 seasons with the Atlanta Falcons. Dwayne Blakely, a model of consistency.
Just really had got to experience what every young person dreams of.
3-year letter winner at Central High School, Dwayne Blakely dominated in competition.
I don't ever remember in my 45 years of coaching anybody doing what Dwayne did. One night against Park Hill High School, he intercepted 2 screen passes and ran back for touchdowns in the same game.
He helped lead the 1995 Central football team to a quarterfinal appearance and named second-team All-State basketball player senior year. But it's his football acumen that paved the way for him at the University of Missouri.
And I remember when he was 5 years old, he said, "Mom, what is a Division I school?" I said, "I don't know." He was reading Michael Jordan when he was going to go to college, and he saw me trying to collect the bills and the pennies to get in there at that time. And he goes, "Mom, why are you saving all this money for?" He said, "I'm going to get me one of those scholarships." And yes, thank the Lord, he did.
I thank him and all the players who were around him because, they could have easily just bailed. A lot of them quit. But even though he wasn't going to be there the next year, he was so great and so he wanted to be a great player so much. So it was so we learned a lot with him. I thank him and he came in. We learned our program. I wish I had 3 years or 4 years with him.
Blakely turned his time at Missouri into an opportunity in NFL Europe for 2 years before spending 4 seasons with the Atlanta Falcons.
That's Dwayne Blakely, trying to leap tall buildings with a single bound top.
Blakely, one of just a handful of football players from St. Joseph to make it in the NFL, representing his home at every level, which makes him a bona fide St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer.
He had some phenomenal plays. He was the ultimate team player. It was never about him.
He wanted to pursue and play in the upper level, and that was the NFL. And he went on and did it, regardless of what we thought. But he kept on persevering, he kept, I'm sure, praying to the Lord, and he made it. And we are so thankful for the NFL for accepting him and blessing him. We thank you for all the coaches who worked with him. We know that God was with him all the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer, Dwayne Blakely.
I wasn't even going to say anything, honestly, but I talked to Coach Judy before, and a point he made was, and my mom's back there, she knows, my Uncle Charles, he knows, I wasn't even going to play football. Central, I tried to quit, I ain't lying to you. I tried to quit, and so the coaching point from that is, man, we got a lot of teachers, coaches, a lot of parents in here. Stay on these kids, man. Stay on them, because you just never know how it's going to end up. Secondly, St. Joe, we kind of get a rap, or I guess the word around town is we always talk about the stuff that we do not have. But I'm telling you, man, these are positive stories. Look at the names on these lists. There's a lot of people from here doing great things. Need more stuff like this. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer, Dwayne Blakely. And Dwayne, I've got to tell you, now you know what it's like to live in my world, leaning over. Well done. I love the signage in the back as well. Well, 26-year Central High School class reunion rolls on tonight. And isn't it ironic, as we talked at the start of the show,
that in the year St. Joseph hosted its inaugural marathon, we without question have one of the best runners our town has ever seen as part of our induction class. 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer Anne-Marie Chappell was truly elite. Chappell was a 3-time All-State cross-country runner at Central, including winning the 4A state title her senior season. On the track, she garnered 6 more All-State selections, including being a record holder for the 1,600 and 3,200 meter runs. She took her talents to the University of Missouri, and after not even competing her freshman year, went on to become a 4-time Big 12 Conference champion and a 2001 NCAA National champion in the indoor medley relay. Catch her if you can. Not many did. Anne-Marie Chappell.
She had a passion for success, but she most importantly had a passion for life.
A state champion and NCAA national champion. Just a few of the accolades in Anne-Marie Brooks Chappell's resume.
She was born with this motivation and high intelligence and very easy to raise.
She wasn't destined to be a standout runner at an early age.
She actually decided kind of late, I think I want to try cross country. And we called O'Brien up.
And I said, can you run 1 lap around the track? Well, of course, she went out and ran 1 lap. She came back at me and said, can I run a little more? From that point there was the beginning of her becoming something, you know.
But by some coincidence and belief, she became a 3-time All-State cross-country runner and winning the 4A state title her senior season.
You can see the look on her face, and you can see the look on the other girl's face. You can see she was going, I can do it, I got it.
At Central High School, Anne-Marie earned 6 All-State track selections and 2 records in the 1,600 and 3,200 meter run. Then she found more success as a Missouri Tiger. Anne-Marie was a 4-time Big 12 Conference champion, 5-time academic All-American, 4-time All-American performer, and a national champion in the 2001 indoor medley relay team.
Probably the highlight of my memories was when she was one of the finalists for the NCAA Woman of the Year award, right? So she was a top of the award winner, which is a huge honor to have a Mizzou student athlete in that realm. But just be able to see her and know how she represented the institution athletically, but clearly academically was pretty powerful and a big impact on me and our program.
Her high school coach always told her to run fast growing up, but there was one exception for the St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer.
I have never said this to another athlete, and I will never ever say it to any athlete in the future. Run slow, take your time, enjoy the moment, and she did.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer, Anne-Marie Chappell.
Well, I won't have to bend down like Dwayne did, because I'm not very Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, St. Joseph Sports Commission Board of Directors, generous community supporters, and my fellow inductees. I would like to thank the St. Joseph Sports Commission for your role in supporting and promoting sports for everyone in the St. Joseph area. And congratulations to each one of you, the 2023 Hall of Fame inductees, as well as our Women of Impact. Brett told me that I get 3 minutes, so I'm going to try my best. If anybody knows me, they know that's a challenge. I have a lot to say all the time. This is why I have it on paper. This is my limiter right here. So I was talking to my husband this morning, Jed, who's back in the crowd, and I said, I have no idea what I'm even going to be able to say in 3 minutes. And his advice was, you don't need to get too profound. And then I had to laugh, because 3 minutes may not be enough to get profound in a speech, but if you drop yourself into a 3-minute race and you're going as hard as you can, things get pretty profound pretty fast. While we're on the subject of time, I wanted to share with you that exactly 30 years ago, I started running. It was one day in August 1993, I kind of casually went up to my dad and said, I think I might want to try cross country this year. I didn't know at that moment that I was about to cross the starting line of a pursuit that would last my entire lifetime. And what an amazing life. I can't think of anything better than to be able to immerse myself in the thing that I love doing the most, which is running. And even more than that, all the while, over 30 years, I've been endlessly lifted up and supported by all of those around me. Many perceive running to be a highly solitary and lonely pursuit, but I will tell you that through every single mile, I've been cheered on by the voices in my head of those who support me, even if they aren't with me. It might be 7 degrees outside and I'll go out for a run and I hear Coach O'Brien, who you saw in the video, saying in my head, "It's a good day to run." Anybody that knew Coach O'Brien knew, he always says, "It's a good day to run." And then there's all those little daily things that other people would think are mundane, but my college coach, Dr. Rick McGuire, told us little things are big things. And he reminds me continually to, as he would say, develop the desire to strive wholeheartedly for excellence. So if you think about that, you have to develop your desire to strive, whether it's easy or hard, wholeheartedly with your whole heart for excellence. Coach McGuire was really the epitome of that. And one voice that really stands out to me, which you saw footage of me winning the Missouri Class 4 high school championship in cross country. If the volume was on that video, you would hear a very important voice in my life, which is my dad. And you can hear an official come up to him and say, "Sir, get off the course." And the camera starts to shake. And then you hear the really important voice, which is my dad, say, "I'm not moving, that's my daughter, Raven State." I guess you might say, you know, where I got my stubbornness from. So at every turn and every lap that I've ever taken, it's been all of you cheering for me and helping me to get the very best out of myself. Instead of commemorating anything that I've done as one individual, I would like to celebrate what we all have and will continue to accomplish together. Running has taken me around the world, but having this opportunity to pause and celebrate 3 decades of running, right here in the very St. Joseph where I started, this is like coming full circle. I don't know how many of you have run a marathon or any type of running race, but a lot of times the way the course is set up is that the starting line and the finish line are literally like right next to each other. So my college roommate that I still have a good relationship with, we always joke, "You mean we ran 26.2 miles to get back to where we started?" And so even though there's humor in that, acknowledging the full circle also celebrates the entire journey, the successes and the defeats, the growth that can only be forged through extreme pressure. And most importantly, coming full circle celebrates all of the people who came with me along the way. So thank you to all of you in my community for coming full circle with me on this giant 30-year lap. And if you will join me, I think that we should head out for another one. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 St. Joseph Area Sport Hall of Fame, Anne-Marie Chapel. Well, there is actually a 4th member of the class of 1997 in the room tonight, at least. And this member hails from Benton High School. And he's not only one of Benton's best, he's not only one of Missouri Western's best, he's not only one of St. Joseph's best, because he was one of the best in the state of Missouri and the United States that amateur golf has to offer. 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer, Mr. Brad Nursky, continues to set the benchmark. Yeah. Now, I'm not very good at math, but let's add up some numbers here. 14 plus 7 is 21. 21 plus 6 is 27. And I think 27 plus 13 is 40. That is the number of tournaments that Brad has won here in St. Joseph that make up city championships, club championships, or invitational championships. That doesn't even take into account the number of holiday tournament championships Brad has won here in St. Joseph. But wait, there's more. Brad has won 14 Missouri Golf Association championships, most recently this summer, his second in a row, the Missouri Golf Association Stroke Play Championship, in which he's now won 4 times, the most of any golfer to ever do it. Brad has also competed on a national level, international level. He was a part of the Team USA in the Concession Cup last year, helping his team defeat Team Europe and Spain. Brad was the runner-up in the USGA Mid-Am in 2014. The winner of that championship qualifies for the Masters. A lot of great things you can say about Brad on the golf course, but probably the best compliment I can pay him, because I know how old he is, because he's my age. We graduated high school together, we graduated college together. Brad still beats the kids. There are a lot of good young golfers. Brad Nursky still beats them all, arguably the best ever marched the links in our area in the state of Missouri.
He's the toughest golfer to face because he has God-given talent and an extremely hard work ethic.
In St. Joseph amateur golf ranks, Brad Nursky, arguably the best ever.
He doesn't get up or down. You wouldn't really know if Brad was, 8 under. You wouldn't know if he was, 5 over. He's pretty level key, and I think that's what helps him out. He doesn't, get too excited. He doesn't get too down either.
Nursky's dominant career started on the south side of St. Joseph, a 4-time Midland Empire Conference champion at Benton High School. After his high school career ended, Nursky went over to Missouri Western, earning all MIAA honors 3 times, all region twice, and the first Griffin player to qualify for the NCAA regionals as an individual.
Brad, you were so impressive. You had shown me video.
He'd come out with his dad all the time and play golf, so I watched him grow up. I watched him play at Benton, so I knew who he was. And it was just, Brad had a place to play for 4 years. And it all works out to be #1 man on the team for 4 years. And that's exactly what happened.
Nursky dominated amateur golf in the city for 2 decades. 14-time Fairview champion, 7-time St. Joseph Country Club champion, 6-time city champion, and winner of 13 local club invitationals. It's not just locally, though, that Nursky's dominated. He has won more than 10 Missouri Golf Association championships, including the Missouri Amateur 3 times and Missouri Player of the Year twice.
You could tell that the talent level was there. Had no clue how hard he was going to work at it. He's the hardest working golfer that I've ever seen.
On top of playing across the state, Nursky has competed nationally and internationally, including on Team USA in 2022 at the Concession Cup in Spain to help the Americans win the Cup. So without question, Brad Nursky taking his rightful place in the St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame.
He works hard, and like I said on the golf course, he's not going to let you beat him. You might beat him, but because you beat him, he's not going to stand by.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer, Brad Nursky.
I'll try to make it short. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to first say thank you, St. Joe Sports Commission, Brett Aisley, for their tremendous honor. I'm very humble and grateful to be honored along with all these world-class athletes out here today. It's my wildest dream that I'd ever be up here with any of them. Golf became a part of my life when I was only 8 years old. I played many sports growing up as a kid, basketball, which Coach said he's still young. I'm going to try to dribble with my left hand. Influential, not only in my career in life, but so many golfers in St. Joseph. I want to thank you so much, Mike. You have touched the lives of so many. All St. Joseph golfers are forever indebted to you. I also want to thank the rest of my family. They also played a big part in my life. My sisters, Marcy and Stacy, my brother, Brett, my mother and father-in-law, Butch and Patty Reese, my 2 sons, Truman and Jackson. And last but most certainly not least, my wife, Danielle. She has most definitely enjoyed all the wins, but she's always been there to lift me up during the losses. Thank you so much. Love you. To my friends, thank you for always being there for support and pushing me to be better. Matt Thrasher, Mark Burrell, Brian Haskell. You guys have always helped me out, and I am forever grateful, no matter how much grief I get from you guys. Thank you to all the sponsors for this evening, especially Reed 8th and 8th Brothers Ag. Events like these, we are so grateful for your support. This is such a great honor. I'm very lucky to be able to not only play this great game of golf, not only throughout our great state, our country, but now to represent St. Joe around the world. To this day, it still gives me chills when I step on the first tee and the starter says, "From St. Joseph, Brad Nursery." Thanks again, everyone.
Well, this class illustrates once again the outstanding elite sports history a town of our size has, and I think it's not only impressive this class has the best amateur golfer ever to do it, it also includes 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame member Kathleen Weingartner, one of the best amateur tennis players our area has ever seen. I guess you could say it's kind of meant to be for Kathleen, as she grew up across the street from Noyes Tennis Courts, where she played every day. Her Hall of Fame resume was really sealed before she left St. Joseph, as she was a 4-time state champion at LeBlanc High School. 3 of those titles were won with her sister Mary Ann on the doubles team, and she won her senior season singles title. She went on to play college tennis for 1 year at the University of Minnesota, where she still holds the single season doubles record for wins in a season. She spent her last 3 years of collegiate tennis at the University of Colorado. She was the Big 8 champion in singles her senior season at the #1 position. There is a Paul Harvey moment for me in every one of these classes. As you'll remember, he used to say, "And now you know the rest of the story." Well, Kathleen's rest of the story was just being told, ladies and gentlemen, in the amateur tennis world. And she won the Colorado State Tennis Open 11 times, and the Denver City Open 6 times. Kathleen Weingartner, area and national tennis legend.
Kathleen as an athlete is how can a powerhouse come in such a petite little package? I mean, you meet her, beautiful, warm, friendly, $1 million smile, but you really think, can she really play? Oh yes, she can.
Kathleen Weingartner, a bona fide tennis legend in St. Joseph, winning 4 state championships in high school, with 3 consecutive doubles titles with her sister Mary Ann, and then in 1981 won a singles title in her senior season. From there, she earned all Big Ten honors her freshman season at Minnesota before heading out to the University of Colorado.
You quickly come to realize that behind that smile is this unwavering determination and will to win like none you've ever met. Combine that with those blistering ground strokes, perfect timing, and nerves of steel, and yes, you have a powerhouse, and one that's won dozens of titles.
Kathleen ranks top 10 in all-time career singles and doubles victories and competed for a national championship after winning the Big 8 title her senior season.
She would do things like bring treats to practice, or a little note who she needed a mom, or a pep talk. And she always called everyone honey, she still does. Now, this is particularly disarming when she called to her opponent. "Oh, sorry, honey, that was out." As if to say, "I'm really nice, but I'm going to keep your ass."
Once her college career ended, Kathleen's love for tennis continued on, winning the Colorado State Open 11 times and Denver City Open 6 times.
Kathleen dominated women's tennis in the state for years, one of the largest events in the state. Denver City Open, Colorado State Open, and the Boulder Open numerous times. If I remember correctly, she went 3 or 4 summers without losing a set in singles. She was able to accomplish these goals during a time when she was teaching 40 hours a week on the court and raising a family.
One of the most decorated athletes in St. Joe history, Kathleen Weingartner, taking her rightful place in the St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame.
A wonderful mother, an adoring wife, and just a solid gold friend. I admire the reverence that you and John hold for each other and been able to witness in your 30+ years of marriage. You mean the world to me, Kathleen. I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2024 St. Joe Village Sports Hall of Fame winner, Courtney Weingartner.
Well, thank you, Brett, and also thank you to the St. Joseph Sports Commission for this honor. I'm humbled and just honored to be among all these wonderful athletes. And congratulations to you guys and to the inductees and to the award recipients. You guys are all a hard act to follow, I'll tell you that. It's really great to be back in St. Joseph. Even though I've lived in Colorado longer than I've lived in St. Joseph, now this town will always be my home. It was a wonderful place to grow up, and I have many, many fond memories. I probably wouldn't be standing here today or achieving what I did without the support of a lot of people in St. Joseph, but especially a group of businessmen who also love the sport of tennis as much as I did years ago, and who took a chance on me to sponsor my tennis dreams. I'm forever indebted to those group of men. My mom and dad were wise enough early on that if they were going to have 6 kids, then they better live near a place where they could kick their kids out of the house and into some activity. So hence, the Noyes tennis courts became our big playground. Even though they weren't tennis players themselves, they sacrificed and worked hard to provide myself and my siblings with tennis lessons, along with traveling to endless tennis tournaments in the area, and supported us as we competed at the high school and college level. I wish they were here, especially my dad, as he was a huge sports fan, and he would be excited to meet all the inductees and award recipients and talk to you all about your accomplishments. He wasn't one that ever met a stranger. I wish my in-laws and my grandparents were here today too, as they were tireless supporters of my tennis career. When there was a tennis tournament at Noyes, my grandparents would pull up on the side of Noyes Street and sit in their 15-year-old Buick that had only 2,000 miles on it, as it only went to their children's houses, the tennis courts, church, the grocery store, and always to the boat. And win or lose, they were always there for a hug after our matches, or ready to take us to Dairy Queen for a treat. There are so many people I need to thank, and I apologize now if I forget anyone. Thank you to my teachers, my coaches, my teammates, and my hitting partners for one of the main reasons why I was successful. I can't say a big enough thank you to all my wonderful family and friends who traveled from Milwaukee, Chicago, Des Moines, Columbia, Lake of the Ozarks, and the greater Kansas City area to be here. I love you all, and I can't tell you how much it means to me to have you all here today. And lastly, thank you to my husband and my 2 sons I love immensely and who have supported me unconditionally in all of my endeavors. This award really belongs to everyone who supported me through my tennis career. Thank you again, and as my dad would say, God love you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 St. Joseph Village Sports Hall of Fame winner, Courtney Weingartner. Well, when you're referred to by nickname, and almost instantly everyone knows who you're talking about, I'd say, folks, you're kind of a big deal. Simply put, T-Ruck was a big deal. His accolades are a big deal as well. Martin Rucker, a 3-sport star at Benton High School, took his talents to the University of Missouri, which you'll hear momentarily. A person very close to the situation wasn't even sure that was even going to be possible. Rucker was at the forefront of the evolution of Mizzou football back to national prominence in the mid-2000s. T-Ruck ranked 2nd in all-time receptions at Mizzou, and for his performance, he He garnered first-team consensus All-American status his senior season as the Tigers finished 12-2 overall, won the Big 12 North title, and ranked number 4 in the final AP poll. From there, Martin was drafted in the 4th round of the 08 NFL Draft and had a 5-year career professionally. T-Ruck made an impact on many, as you'll see from some familiar faces. Let's take a look.
It's pretty special guy. Kurt one goes wide left. And it is Rucker. We were so fortunate that he made a commitment to his state institution and came to our place and truly was a difference maker in so many different ways.
That tight end and defensive end Martin Rucker is looking forward to his senior season, and it appears many eyes are also looking forward to watching Rucker take the field.
I'd like to prove that all this hype in the paper and on meeting and things, that it's all real.
So I go into place and then I get to meet them, and they all walked out, they get some stuff or food and bring it over to us. And I'm looking at all this stuff here, and I look at Andy Gill and I says, there's no way he's gonna go to Mizzou. There is no way he's gonna go to Mizzou. And Andy Gill, God bless him, looked at me and said, Coach, I think he's got a good chance. 2 hours went on, you know, he's getting heavily recruited. He comes, they went back to have a little meeting, came back, and he goes, I want to be a Missouri Tiger. That 90 days. And so that was incredible. And it's great enough because his mom and dad were so committed to Nebraska, kind of led him in his, you know, in his own way, do what he wanted to do. And I thought that was great. Boy, what a great player we have, and, you know, just a very special guy.
I've always found very special about Martin is his family. I mean, I'm talking about his parents and his immediate family, and how special they were as a unit.
Very difficult getting him. We weren't getting the best players out of the state, St. Louis, Kansas City. But after we got Martin Rucker, I don't think we lost a player for the next 7 or 8 years. And it was okay to jump on board. Let's stay here. Let's win.
Very special guy personally, very special guy professionally, and somebody that I'm really proud of to be able to know and to spend time with.
T-Ruck, man, God bless you, man. I love you. I'm so happy for you and the successes you've had outside of football. And you have a little baby and your wife. You come from a great family. You did great things here. You were a difference maker. You helped make everybody better. That's kind of how you work.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 State Coast Players 4.0, Ladies T-Rucker!
Pull this out. First of all, thank you so much to the commission, Brett, everybody. This stuff is so much fun, right? My brother was in the inaugural class, and I have so much pride for St. Joe and for the South Side, and watching him play football and how he carried that South Side, that St. Joe mantra with him everywhere was always an inspiration to me, and so that was part of my drive for success. But one of the reasons these events are so much fun is because while we get the awards and we get the recognition, these awards are not about us. As you heard on that video, all I had to do was show up and work hard. I had such a great support system. I had such a great family and group of friends behind me that none of my success is because of me. It's all because of the man upstairs and because of the people who backed me from day one. I'd like to mention, I'll probably leave some people out, but my parents, first of all, have to give them, probably everybody in this room knows my parents, because they've probably supported you or your kids in some way in this community at some point. And my dad, worked 12-hour shifts, 6 to 6, sometimes day shift, sometimes night shift. It didn't matter. He was always there. This is my 3rd Hall of Fame. You think I'd be able to get through these without crying? Haven't mastered that part yet. It didn't matter what was going on. That man showed up all the time. Hot, cold, didn't matter. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. So if you know my brother Bill, who's here in the crowd, my brother Mike, and my sister Micah, while my dad was in the factory sweating his tail off, my mom was at home raising us, and her job was harder than his was. But she was always there to read to us, to make sure that somebody was home when we got home from school.
to take us to the different things that we were taken to, or just to give us support. My Aunt Ethel was here, her and my Uncle Everett. My Uncle Everett has since passed, but when I was younger, my Aunt Ethel had a stroke, and it paralyzed one side of her body partially, but it never stopped her from showing up for me. I was a three-star sport, three-sport star. I played 3 sports. I don't know if I was a star, I didn't know when I played. And I can always remember looking up and seeing her and my uncle in the stands or at a track meet. They would come over and they would have fruit for me. You know, as an athlete, you gotta be hydrated when you're on the track. And she would show up with a trunk full of Gatorade. Gatorade and orange slices cut for an 18-year-old kid. Just great, great people. My Aunt Lois here from all the way from Omaha. And she would always come down. She'd be one of the loudest people in the crowd yelling and cheering for me. And that's a 2-hour drive for her. And my brother Bill, he's here. I always looked up to him as a kid. He played football and basketball, and he's 13 years older than me, so I'll say that again and rub that in a little bit. He's 13 years older than I am, but he always took care of me as I was growing up. Everybody in here probably knows my brother Mike, and he was one of those trailblazer guys. He showed me that it could be done. I didn't, ultimately, I was the smart one and didn't go to Nebraska. But he showed me the way. He showed me that it could be done, and he showed me how to do it. And for that, I'll forever be grateful for him. And, you know, I really like this jacket. I'd like to say it's nice and fashionable, and I got that from my sister, Micah. So I have to give her a shout out somewhere. She was left-handed, but she was a cheerleader. So I always give her credit or grief about that she should have been an athlete. But anyway. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to my beautiful wife, Gianni, and my 3 kids, Claire, who's 6, Lucy, who's 4, and Martin III, who I call Trio. He's 2. And so part of the reason that I like these types of awards too is because my wife's a little bit younger than me and my kids are way young, so none of them have ever seen me play football. So this kind of gives legitimacy to me saying that I was a pretty good athlete. Last couple of guys that I have to mention, I know my 3 minutes are up, but Coach Z, Coach Muss, Coach Modus, Steve Lovely, man, this was back in the day when your coaches and your teachers were truly your friends. And they really wanted the best for you, and you could tell. And they pushed you, and they pushed you, and they pushed you, but they also loved you, and they loved you, and they loved you. And those knuckleheads are some of the best dudes that I've ever met. And I'll cherish those guys for my entire life. Thank you all so much. If there's anybody I forgot, I apologize, but thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, folks, it is still one of the most iconic moments in our city's history. The 1996 Olympics torch run. We've already enshrined Anne Marie Chapel, who took part in that run, as did fellow Hall of Famers Wes Barnett and Dennis Sneven, who are also here with us tonight. Our next inductee also proudly took part in that moment, and for Pete Kelly, it was a pinnacle moment for a career that had begun 8 years earlier at the Wesley Center on the south side of St. Joseph. Pete quickly found himself on the junior world team and soon a residency at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs followed. At just 22 years of age, he became the youngest member of the Olympic team at that time. He broke 2 American records during the meet, finished 14th overall. Following the games, he ascended all the way to #1 in his weight class in 2004 and was inducted into the USA Weightlifting Hall of Fame. Pete is a model of hard work, dedication, humbleness, and tonight is a St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame.
There's a saying that says, well done is better than well said, and Pete exemplifies that.
Olympic level dream started in 1988 when Pete Kelly first started weightlifting at the Wesley Center.
He never lifted before, but he didn't start out the top of just the kids in his weight category. But he was determined, and he was a very hard worker, and man, he got good.
He might not have started out thinking weightlifting would take him to the world stage, but Kelly took to the sport, and 4 short years later, started training at the Olympic Training Center.
Very, very precise, technically, just unbelievable. I think he had the best technique ever. In the set, especially in the stats, which is a difficult lift. He had the best technique I've ever seen.
I remember back in the days of our training together in Colorado Springs, and we'd have 30 guys in the gym, and you couldn't find a single one that had a bad thing to say about Pete Kelly.
From there, Kelly became the youngest member of the Olympics team at just 22 years old in the 1996 Atlanta Games, breaking 2 American records in the process.
A lot of people don't realize in 1996, the Olympic Games in Atlanta, we had 10 spots on the team. St. Joseph, Missouri had 2 of those spots.
A St. Joseph kid born and raised, traveling the world, becoming a champion and an ultimate competitor. Pete Kelly, now a multi-time Hall of Famer, with his induction into the St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame.
Is somebody that the city of St. Joseph would look at with a great deal of pride, because he not only represented himself well, his country well, and also the city well.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Famer, Mr. Pete Kelly.
What a night, huh? I'll tell you, everybody here, it's an honor to be here. See if I can find my speech here. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I've seen a lot of people here I haven't seen for years, and it's great to see you. I want to thank the support that we have, all the athletes here, and the people in St. Joe. Doing this as an athlete, everybody knows it takes a lot of support behind you to get where you're at. And that's really what I want to thank tonight. We hosted the Olympic trials here in '96 and 2004, and I think we packed the Civic Arena. It was unbelievable, the love and support that City of St. Joe came out to support me and Wes and Dennis and all the athletes. It was a big honor, and it really helpful as an athlete to be on a stage like that, to have those people there. The volunteers that were there to put on the show, it takes hundreds of them, and people don't get the recognition. So I want to thank the volunteers and everyone that helped put those shows on to get us where we're. Second, I'd like to thank my teammates and coaches, several Wesley Center athletes that I went through training through the years are here. In particular, I want to thank Wes Barnett. You probably know already, but Wes is a big influence in my life. He had some big lifts. I was always trying to breathe, and he would, he pushed me all the time. And we got to train together at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs for many years, and Wes was a big help to keep me motivated and keep me on track to where I was, because he's been there, and we confided in each other on the good and bad days. Dennis also, Sneeden, you're the one that got me started. When I was a short little chubby kid at the Wesley Center, didn't know what to do, you got me in the weight room, kept me pushing and pushing. And Dennis really kept things fun for us down there at the Wesley Center, and he would keep us motivated, keep us going, and really got us going to train hard and get going where we were. And I was fortunate enough to be able to travel the world with both Wes and Dennis, and if anybody knows those two characters, if you're traveling the world with them, that's a whole other story there. But anyway, seriously, they kept me motivated, they kept me on track, and I had a great time with them. I'd like to also thank my family. When I was in Atlanta competing, I think we had over 30 or 40 family members of mine there cheering me on. I came from St. Joe, along big contingent from St. Joe came to watch, and it was really unbelievable to have in the stands. My sister Jennifer, my niece Lene, you both were there the whole time, helping me, pushing me, traveling. My sister would take me down to Wesley Center every night of the week to work out, and she'd complain, but I think she never worked out for me. I'd also like to thank my wife, Janelle. She was with me most of the way. After we got married in 2002, I convinced her to move to Colorado with me so I can continue training. And thanks to her, she worked 2 and 3 jobs at a time while I got to just train. I'd come home after my morning workout, I was able to take a nap while she was slaving away, supporting the household. So thanks, Janelle, for the support. Lastly, my mom and dad. I would not have been here at all without them too. They started me, they got me involved in sports, they encouraged me to play every sport under the sun, and I did. I tried it all, and started weeding some out, and weightlifting became what I was focused on. It became my passion. They were there the whole time. They traveled the whole country, going to every meet we could, driving hours, sometimes days to get to competitions. My dad even got to go to Czechoslovakia with me to watch me at the Junior World Championships, which is a fun time. But this is a big honor, and I want to thank everybody. It's really great to have this. Thank you, Brett, and the commission for having this. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 Central Atlanta Sports Hall of Famer, Mr. Pete Kelly. Well, in the sport of golf, they would call it a mulligan, whereas I'm not sure that really applies to the long journey of a basketball season. For the 1976 Lafayette High School boys basketball team, there was definitely some unfinished business. A year earlier, the Fighting Irish were so close to a title, finishing runner-up in Class 3, which in the off-season, Coach Mel Clark deemed it a revenge tour which fueled motivation. It's hard to get back to the mountaintop, but this hungry group of Fighting Irish did, in which they finished 28-3 overall and knocked off Joplin Memorial High School, the school's first and only boys basketball state championship. A historic moment, as told through the eyes of team members who helped accomplish it.
We're just a bunch of guys that got along well and grew up together, most of us, and just had a big will to win.
A team built to win a state championship. At the very least, a team motivated by a state championship loss.
Practice every day, drills, baselines, all the stuff. Hours of practice. I mean, we practice for 3 to 4 hours sometimes.
The 1976 Lafayette boys basketball team won a revenge tour. The Northsiders finished the 75 year as the Class 3A runner-ups in a 1-point loss.
We're very competitive still to this day, but a very competitive group. Had a great core coming back the next season, so dusted themselves off with the agony of defeat, so to speak, and we played basketball. That's all we did anyhow, so we got right back on the board. Look to hopefully finish the job in 76 with sportsmen.
The returning guys took it to heart, and it motivated them, thanks in part to the coaching of head man Mel Clark and assistant coach Steve Neff.
It was amazing how Coach Clark and Coach Neff were able just to bring us together and make us into a team. They worked us hard. I tell you, they worked us really hard. We had a lot of fun. Just really kind of like father figures in our life, and just appreciating them.
The Irish steamrolled their way to a 28-3 record in the state championship in 1976, avenging the 75 championship game lost. And as they look back at this moment now, more than 47 years later, it's not about who did the best then, but how good they did it all together.
They always put in our mind about, hey, we're a team, and even in practices, we would rotate into spots and out of spots, and we knew every position, and we knew every play, you know what I mean? So they made it, real in our minds that, this is not about a single effort, it's about a team effort.
There's been some great Lafayette basketball teams since, but perhaps this group helped mold and shape the Northside game we see today. And for that, they're forever enshrined in the St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame.
Something when you share it with somebody, when you do it as a team, and you have that to share, and you
realized all we went through and sacrificed and supported each other through that time. And it was an amazing time period for all of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage, and gentlemen, I'll call you up one by one. Our 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame team inductees, the 1976 Lafayette High School Boys State Champions. Let's meet them now. First, we pay our respects to the late Steve Bundy. All the way from south of Tampa, Florida, welcome back Greg Lyle. Here is the starting lineup for the Irish, Jimmy Tillman. Hubert Beatty. Welcome back all the way from LA, Charlie Brown. Managers, Mr. Steve Shore. Mr. Scooter Tillman. Head coach, Mr. Mel Clark. And ladies and gentlemen, speaking behalf tonight on the 76th state champions, please welcome to the stage assistant coach, Mr. Steve Neff.
Let me begin by expressing thanks to the St. Joseph Sports Commission and Chairman Brett Isley for their efforts in establishing the St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame. Also thanks to the many sponsors, for without your generosity, tonight's induction, past and future, would not be possible. You know, before I begin, I got to tell you, gentlemen, I'm a little surprised you showed up tonight. There was a rumor that Coach Clark was going to bring his whistle, and you were going to spend most of this induction running back and forth between his walls. We did a lot of that. On the high school level, Any, if not all, individuals and teams dream of the ultimate prize, the state championship. Possible success hinging on a number of factors, returning players, strength of opponents, schedule, and so forth. But the 1976 state championship might well have had its roots a year earlier, when Coach Clark's 1975 team finished second by 1 point to Charleston down in Columbia. There was a lot of disappointment in that locker room in the days that followed. But for 13 returning Lettermen, a fire was lit. They knew what the future might hold, and they played throughout the summer with many nights spent at the Northside Complex. The purpose being to improve their skills as they worked towards a dream. But when the basketball season began, they belonged to Mel Clark. There was very little said about a state championship down the road. Everybody knew it was a possibility, but it was kind of an unspoken goal. But they knew it wouldn't come easily. We practiced long hours with 13 young men getting after each other with intense drills and scrimmages. They enjoyed being pushed, and they loved pushing each other. As Mel and I have said many times, this team was scary good. They had it all. They had speed, they had cat-like quickness, they handled it, they rebounded it, they shot it, and they were unselfish. But it all came together, which was most important. They played as one. Mel preached disorganized control. Their job was to cause havoc with a stifling full-court press and a team slogan that was expressed in run, run, swish. It was, as Alan Seifert, St. Joseph News Press sports editor, wrote, it was like trying to throw a basketball through a revolving door. This team unified the Lafayette community. The team's support was evident when if you arrived late for a game, your best seat might have been 4 or 5 deep in the hallway. And when the fire marshal showed up, there was a good chance you didn't make it through the front door. Everyone wanted to be a part of this team's success, not only because of their basketball abilities, but because of them being excellent student athletes. And they were positive role models to future Irish. And they performed those roles in the humblest manner. The state championship run began with the district championship. And then with all championships, as we've all heard it said, you've got to be pretty good. But it also doesn't hurt to have a little luck. And the next 3 games were all won in overtime. The second, a quarterfinal win against Kansas City Westport, down 7 with 55 seconds to play. And then a semifinal win versus Troy, down 7 with 1:09 to play. And then finally, a 5-point breather against Joplin Memorial brought the trophy to the north side. This final success was reflected in stats and results. A Fighting Irish team that finished 28-3, averaging 80 points a game without a 3-point line, and a winning point margin of over 20 points a game. As the years have rolled by, seeing each other always brought about a handshake of remembrance. But a handshake was never enough, as an embrace of admiration would follow, as a testament for what they experienced and accomplished for themselves, their school, and their community. So lastly, from Coach Clark, myself, and 13 young men who 47 years ago realized a dream and established a lifelong bond. We thank you so much for this induction. As the 1976 Lafayette High School Fighting Irish basketball team is honored to be a member of the St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about another big round of applause for the 2023 St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame. Every year I call it a St. Joseph sports fan's dream, and we have lived it here tonight once again. Ladies and gentlemen, before we close this evening, I want to thank some other folks who've been instrumental in helping us make this night possible. First, how about a big round of applause for our host venue here at Stony Creek Hotel and Conference Center. Next, I'd like to thank our media partners who believed in this event from the beginning, have helped promote through various channels, and have helped make this event become what it has been. Please join me in thanking MPG and NewsPressNow.com, Mr. David Bradley, Steve Gord, Kristen Fry, and the rest of the team. Give them a round of applause. Next, our friends at Eagle Communications, Libby Waltman, General Manager. Give Eagle Communications a round of applause. And finally, our friends at KQTV, General Manager Dirk Halsberry, Director of Sales Lindsay Bernard, which Lindsay's been highly instrumental in getting the Sports Commission reformed in her days at the CBB. Give them a round of applause. Next, I want to thank our Hall of Fame committee. Their names are here on the screen. This group, number one, has Hall of Famers in it, and folks that will be sooner or later. I can't thank you enough for your dedication and hard work in making our Hall of Fame what it has become. Give them a round of applause. I want to thank our production team. To my right, your left, they're highly talented individuals who I've had the pleasure of working with for quite some time. Our lead designer, give it up for Bree Blanton, ladies and gentlemen. Our video production extraordinaire, the sports director at KQTV, Mr. Chris Roush. Over here helping produce the operation, the one and only Connor Peters. Our filmer tonight has been Mr. Jimmy Taylor. And our photographer, Mr. Jason Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, check out our auction items. We've got an impressive lot of around 40 items. That auction closes tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So you've got still have over 24 hours to bid. Pretty simple. Text 79230 and get set up with a link to bid. Again, that auction closes tomorrow night at 9 p.m. With that, I leave you with this. Our fourth St. Joseph Area Sports Hall of Fame induction will be about a year from now. If you know someone to nominate, you can do so on our website at stjomosports.com, or you can pick up a nomination packet on the way out here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for your support of sports in St. Joseph and